Welcome back to the Track Talk review, and we're now down to the month of November, for which there are 3 races at the Singapore Turf Club named after human beings, and the E.W. Barker is the last of them. The E.W. Barker has traditionally been a quality 1400-metre feature, and this year's race was a perfect blend of exciting youngsters such as Limscraft, Grand Kunter and Star of Jupiter for Shane Birchiger, plus some more seasoned performers such as last year's winner Mr. Yo, BB and Steward's Cup winning mare What's New. But it would be a different name on the honour roll, and it was Fame Star who would once again have his name up in lights and provide Frenchman Mark Lerner with another big race success in 2019.
Gates fly and they're off and racing now, and he got them as one. The starter What's New, BB drift back shortly after the start. Fame Star away brilliantly. He leads from Nepean. Grand Kunter sliding up there, so too is Mr. Yo. Circuit Mission Webster just off those. Being followed by Elite Power. Star of Jupiter looking to try and tuck in the 3 wide line. Next along the inside was Sapphire Dragon Duke. Further back was Baraz as they negotiate that first turn at the 900. Limscraft's over on the inside. He got back about 10 lengths off the lead. Quarterback is posted deep. Tesoro Bravado in that bunch. What's New second last. BB can see them all. Speeder Cracker 23.49 the first 400. And at the 700 metres, it's Fame Star. Leading by a half on Mr. Yo. He got to second. Just behind those was Webster. 1 out and 1 back Nepean at the moment. Grand Kunter about to peel. Saphir being ridden along on the fence. Circuit Mission was deeper out as they make the turn. Looking for Limscraft. He's ducking and weaving, going back toward the inside. They're in the straight here, approaching the 400. Fame Star given full bore by Lerner. Mr. Yo's running a race, so too Saphir. Grand Kunter's down the outside. He's finishing off well. Limscraft has run up behind them. He ran out of room. Fame Star at the 50. Grand Kunter's trying to get him. It's Fame Star just in front. Grand Kunter getting close. They hit the line, and Fame Star might have just won.
Only once out of the top 3 in 11 starts in 2019, this extremely likeable son of Twirling Candy has improved 37 points since his first start of the year for his connections, and the ceiling of his ability doesn't seem to have been reached just yet. The same race provided a first group race ride for the visiting Jessica Eaton on the 3rd place getter Webster, having ridden her maiden Kranji winner a week earlier on Snip for Webster's trainer Dan Marr. The SARS fee was this year confined to 3-year-olds for only the 2nd time and was eagerly anticipated, with the headline act being the hugely talented and unbeaten Inferno in colours that were carried to legendary status here at Kranji for the Bari stable in Glen Wittenbury. And the son of Holy Roman Emperor hardly had a moment's worry in seeing off Big Hearted and Rocket Star, who chased him home in the Ozhorse Golden Horseshoe back in July.
Fee. And Inferno jumped away on terms with them. Universal Empire, Chi-Chi Achiever the first 2 to go. Bluestone holding a forward spot. Sailor Bee's on the improve just behind those. Rocket Star. Inferno's nice and prominent. Only 3 lengths off the lead as they negotiate the 950. Rocket Star now eases back a length behind him. Inside of his stablemate Field Marshal. They were followed by Beer Garden. Getting back was Big Hearted, and War Frontier can see them all. 750 to go. Chi-Chi Achiever is travelling strongly in front, leading Sailor V Bluestone. Inferno's been given the peach here by Rod. He's 1 out and 1 back, and poised for his run at the 500 metres, about to peel now Inferno. Behind those Field Marshal, Universal Empire hanging badly. Then came Beer Garden and Big Hearted. They're into the straight now in the SARS fee. Up to the 300, and Inferno makes his move. He goes out after Chi-Chi Achiever. Big Hearted copped a buffeting there inside of Field Marshal, then Bluestone, but inside the 200, Inferno rolls down to the rail. Rocket Star gets out late, so too does Big Hearted. It's Inferno in front, he's starting to tire. Big Hearted, Rocket Star, they try hard, but Inferno eased down.
Firmly establishing himself as the standout 3-year-old in Singapore going forward to 2020, Inferno has the world at his hooves, and winning trainer Cliff Brown was quick to praise long-time assistant and right-hand man Chris Bock, saying Chris is pivotal in the buying and overall success of the stable. Singapore racing has a lot to look forward to with this exciting galloper. So on to the final Group 1 of the year, the Desta Singapore Gold Cup, and a top quality field was assembled for this time-honoured race. 2 previous winners were back for more in the form of Elite Invincible and also Bahana, the winner in 2016, plus Derby winner Sun Marshall and Raffles Cup heroine Makanani, and the runner-up in both those races, Mr. Clint, under Craig Williams, who had jetted in to take them out.
Racing now. I'm Incredible got a clean start. Blue Swede goes back shortly after the start, as does Star Emperor, and Sacred Choir fired out of the gates. He's up there contesting the lead early. Elite Invincible being sent forward, and it's a wall of about 6 runners into the first turn as Super Dynasty drives up as well. Into the first turn, Super Dynasty rails through and takes the lead from McInerney. Sun Marshall moving up 3 wide, Elite Invincible deeper out. Super Dynasty will now hand up. He's 4th the inside. I'm Incredible's looking to try and tuck in 5th placing when they go into the back straight. Then Sacred Choir, Real Success, Predator midfield, followed by Mr. Clint and King Louis. He's over on the inside, about 10 off the lead, and looks to have settled well mid-race. Followed by Bahana, Count of Monte Cristo, Blue Swede, Gold Strike, Star Emperor, and Yabba Dabba Doo is last of all, about 18 lengths off the leader, which is last year's winner, Elite Invincible. He leads by 1 length. I'm Incredible worked across to be second. Then McInerney, Super Dynasty, 4th the inside. Sun Marshall's got the back of I'm Incredible as they leave the 1,000 metre mark behind them. Then came Real Success. Sacred Choir gets a nice run, 1 off the rail with cover. Mr. Clint's posted deep. He's starting to track forward outside of Predator. Then came Bahana. King Louis in an awkward spot. He's looking to try and shift off the inside pike. Then Count of Monte Cristo, Gold Strike. Further back was Blue Sweet, Star Emperor, and Yabba Dabba Doo. The field bunching right up now in the Gold Cup. They make the swing. 500 metres to go, and I'm Incredible turning it on here. Mr. Clint's moved to second the outside. Elite Invincible under pressure, followed by Bahana. Gold Strike, Count of Monte Cristo got to the outside, then Real Success. As they reach the 300, Mr. Clint goes for home now. I'm Incredible's trying to fight back. Sacred Choir into the clear. Further back was Gold Strike, King Louis. Yabba Dabba Doo late with Count of Monte Cristo. Mr. Clint's tired. Gold Strike and Count of Monte Cristo trying to get to him. Mr. Clint needing the line. Gold Strike, Count of Monte Cristo, but Mr. Clint, what a week for Craig Williams.
Fresh off a first success in the Melbourne Cup on Val and Declare, Craig Williams was once again the go-to man for a Singapore Gold Cup win, having landed the prize on Bahana in 2016 for trainer Stephen Gray. Gold Strike would run a mighty race for second, with Count of Monte Cristo third. This win was a 3rd Group 1 success for Freedman since arriving in Singapore. And so on to the final feature of the year, the Colonial Chief Stakes on the Polytrack, and 3 horses out of the Gold Cup were taking their chance, with the trio headed by Yabba Dabba Doo, who was an excellent 4th in the Blue Ribbon. Predator and Super Dynasty were also in the lineup, along with recent winner Destroyer Eclipse and the up-and-coming Wolf Warrior, plus Pennywise up in trip on his favourite surface.
To Predator, Destroyer Eclipse, then Black Jade. Behind those runners, Circuit Mission about to be called upon. Further back was Claudia's Beauty, Wolf Warrior. Dicton slicing through the field, then Pennywise 3 and 4pence on the bend. And Super Dynasty revved up. He leads on, straightening 400 out, kicks here. Predator trying hard, then came Black Jade, Destroyer Eclipse. There's no Circuit Mission, and Pennywise is running home. Down below the 300, Super Dynasty the leader from Predator. Black Jade, Pennywise keeps making ground. 150 out, it's Super Dynasty, Black Jade, Pennywise, the 3 of them driving. Black Jade and Pennywise have settled down to fight it out. Black Jade and Pennywise, here's a great go in the Colonial Chief, maybe Pennywise a nose.
The race falling the way of Pennywise for Ricardo Lagrange, and this was the 3rd leg in a fabulous 4-timer for the champion jockey Vlad Jurek on the final day's racing of the year, getting the better of Black Jade in a great finish. Great to see Ricardo Lagrange get a feature there, guys, and Pennywise was strong in the Colonial Chief. Great way to finish the year for both he and Vlad Jurek.
Definitely, Nick. Great training performance. I doubted him at the mile, I'll be honest, but look, they went back from the wide barrier that he drew, and it turned out to be the right call. He ran the trip strongly. James Peters should be congratulated the way his horses finished the year, in particular that feature. Black Jade, a great second, and Destroyer Eclipse, I think with more luck, probably could have won the race. So his horses fired down late in the year.
Yeah, they definitely did, and of course he might not have won a feature this year in 2019, guys, but I think Grand Good is certainly a horse to follow next year, and I think he can definitely put his name up in lights in terms of a feature race victory potentially in 2020.
Yeah, let's cast our memories back to that Gold Cup. Obviously, Mr. Clint, Craig Williams, we know how good a jockey he is, Luke, and having won that Melbourne Cup, in your call you said, the 2 continents. It's amazing what jockeys put themselves through nowadays, but when you can get Group 1 success like that, I'm sure it makes all the travelling and so on and so forth very easy.
No doubt, Nick. I mean, he was the back end of Flemington, the big week of racing there, where you have the 4 days of full-on action. So for him to make the trip to Singapore on the Sunday, just shows his professionalism and what a quality rider he was. He pulled their pants down on Mr. Clint, got going at the right time, and that was a masterstroke. Lee Friedman got him to peak on the right day, so a good all-round team performance, and the horse is just a great stayer.
He certainly is, and a word for Lee Friedman down. Obviously, he's not champion this year, he was last, but a great year nevertheless.
I think when you're taking out the Derby and the Gold Cup, it's still a good idea, isn't it? Obviously taking out two of the biggest races, arguably the two biggest races. So I'm sure he's certainly still satisfied with the year, despite not having probably the numbers. I think that's probably the thing that's held him back in terms of defending his title. But still a fantastic year for the former champion Lee Friedman.
Absolutely. One man who got very good numbers this year was the champion jockey Vlad Jurek. He surpassed his best ever tally, and it culminated on the final day with a 4-timer. And we can now hear from the 3 times champion of Singapore.
I've always sort of said to people that have asked me, how do you compare your Group 1 to your Group 1s to your Premiership, that sort of stuff. And a Premiership's a all-year thing. You know, you work hard all year to achieve it, and it's just great when you're able to get there in the end. So no, I'm really pleased to get 3 in a row.
That's certainly the benchmark, I think, isn't it, for any rider to be crowned champion in their jurisdiction. Of this year, though, for you, Vlad, it's been a vintage one, I would say, or at least go as far to say. I mean, the Group 1s, obviously, I guess the standouts, the likes of Aramco and Top Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm incredible also. So to win 3 of the 7 Group 1s on the calendar was great. We were hoping, obviously, to win the Gold Cup, but it didn't work out from the barrier for us. But yeah, it's been a great year. I had a couple of stop-start year. I had to have surgery and had 5 weeks off there. So like I said, to come out on top still is is really great. And
absolutely, I'm sure it's more than doable. Just going back to that Gold Cup, obviously you said you couldn't win it, but I imagine the pleasure you must have felt, because the certain winning rider was a good friend of yours, and I know that he was very pleased to have won it, and obviously credited you for the advice, that being Craig Williams. Yeah,
absolutely. It was great for Craig. He had a wonderful week. Don't worry, I was pretty filthy after the race. I'm a very competitive person, so to not win myself was very disappointing. But I was really wrapped for Craig, obviously, to come here and have the one ride and get the job done for CK Poir, who's of Oscar Racing, who's a really good friend of mine and has been an unbelievable supporter of mine over many years here. And yeah, it was just great result for Lee, obviously, as well. That horse has been a little bit unlucky, and then to have a bit of luck in the Gold Cup, I'm sure they were really pleased with that outcome.
Absolutely, and we can't let 2019 go by, Vlad, without mentioning Royal Ascot. What a great time that was for you, and I know you enjoyed it thoroughly, and something that would live with you forever if you never get together again, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a wonderful, like you say, a wonderful experience, and a real thank you goes to Mr. Lim and Mick Dittman and Stephen and Bridget Gray as well for giving me the opportunity to go along and experience that with them. And the horse ran very well, and just to be part of that big week, Royal Ascot week, was unbelievable. So they're great memories through the year, and hopefully we can find another good one to take there one day again.
It would be nice for sure to represent this island. And just finally, Vlad, obviously you want to surpass your best tally. What about 2020? What are the goals, if any, do you set yourself?
Oh, look, it's tough to keep winning the Premiership. I put a lot of pressure on myself to try to stay on top and do all the things that I can to sort of try and find the right horses and that sort of thing. And we've got some new jockeys coming in, Paddy Maloney, Ruyon Meyer, and a young guy from South Africa as well, Ryan Munger, I think his name is. So, it's just going to get harder again. And, I've just got over the line trying to shrug Benny off this year. So I think I'll just enjoy it. And, I have to have surgery again next Tuesday on my left knee. So I could possibly miss the first couple of weekends of racing in January, so it'll be a slow start. But yeah, I'll work hard, and hopefully we can make it 4 in a row.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very doable indeed for the champion jockey there, Luke. And he talks of these new riders coming. It's never going to be easy for him, but he just continues to sort of sit top of the tree there. I know he had a tussle this year with Benny Woodworth, Michael Rodd involved as well for a period, but VD came out on top again.
He did. He's hard to beat, isn't he, Vlad? Obviously, he spoke about a bit of wear and tear on the body. I mean, it's a hard campaign riding racehorses full stop, let alone up here in the humidity. And you've got a few that take some riding too, mind you guys. So it's a tough job up here. And look, well done to Vlad on another big win this year.
I was going to say how much Vlad gets stuck into them as well. That would cause a little bit of wear and tear on the body as well. He's so
the
strong.
right shoulder doesn't need a bit of work done soon too.
It's funny you say that, because I mean, we talk of these group wins and these big wins, the I'm Incredibles, the Aramcos, the Top Nines, but we've seen it at the lower level, haven't we, this year with Vlad. I mean, and I suppose I'm from the UK, and there was obviously the great Tony McCoy, Sir A.P. McCoy, who everyone would have heard of, could win on horses no one else could.
Yeah.
We see that, Dan, don't we, time and time again with Vlad. There are horses that he sometimes lifts over the line, and I dare say they sleep well after it.
Yeah, I think it's obviously a physical thing. I mean, there's other jockeys that can get horses to win by, them running for him, but his physical strength, his brute strength inside the final, 200 metres or so, it's remarkable, and obviously has proved dividends for him to be the leading rider this year.
He certainly is. He is the leading rider. Let's have a look at the Premierships now. The final standings for 2019. The trainers, Mark Walker, 73. He will be crowned champion trainer once again. No feature race though this year for trainer Mark Walker, but I'm sure he'll be pleased with that tally nevertheless. Michael Clements, 75. Dan Mars had a fantastic year, 52. Cliff Brown, 49. Just the one shy of the 50. So too Shane Birchiger, but both men winning some good races throughout the year.
Vlad finishing on 88 winners. V. Jurek winning the Jockeys Premiership. Benny Woodworth 69, Rod 64, Powell 40, and Mark Lerner on 37.
Apprentice title went the way of Simon Cock with 35 winners and spending the last couple of months on the sidelines as well. Jimmy Wong, of course, became a senior rider throughout the year. Shafrazel having a good year on 14, Zyrul 12, and as was Shah here on that number as well.
Yeah, some good young riders on that tally. What are some highlights, guys? Dan, first to you. What was the main standout for you this year?
Well, it might not be so popular with a few people here in Singapore, especially the participants, but I'm going the way of Hong Kong, and that being, of course, with Southern Legend taking out the Kranji Mile. I thought he was dominant here, guys. You don't win Group 1s as easy as he did, and of course, to go back-to-back, he'd had a disappointing season, to come over and take out our biggest prize. I thought that was certainly my highlight of the year. Of course, great ride from Zach. He clearly had the horse underneath him as well, and for Casper Founds as well, has done a great job with this horse. And not only that, Bon Ho and of course Carmel Size, who in fact bought this horse so early on, I think they've done a remarkable job with him.
Mine is Mr. Clint winning the Gold Cup. Not only the horse, but I think the ride and the training performance. We know he had the setback in the QE2 Cup where he had a hoof issue. Lee Friedman got him through that and got him to peak up on the big day. So Mr. Clint for mine, one of the highlights of the year, winning the Singapore Gold Cup.
I think I'd probably go with a human for my highlight this year, and his name is Vlad Jurek. He's a man who's had another great year, and there he is on top night, having won the Guineas this year. Aramco, another big winner for him there, and certainly a great year for the champion. 3 times a champion, takes plenty of doing here in Singapore. He's had loads of support, and I think we can all agree, sat behind this desk, that we can call him a friend and an ultra professional. So look forward to seeing him perhaps win it for a 4th time in 2020.
Absolutely, Nick. Been a great year. Been great to be a part of it with you guys, and looking forward to more next season, Dan.
Yeah, I think there's plenty to look forward to, and as I said a little bit earlier on the show, it's the enjoyment that we get out of it. Obviously, capturing these moments, obviously pre-race and post-race. I think when you look at all the feature races this season, I think there's been a great story along the way with each and every one of them, and that's certainly been a highlight, I think, away from the highlights that we just touched on. I absolutely loved every minute of it, being out there and obviously capturing those moments, Nick. And as I said, I think there was a story to each and every one of those victories.
Yeah, indeed, and certainly it forms the fabric of what is racing here in Singapore, and I for one, and I'm sure both you and Luke would look forward to it next year as well, Dan. So we've got plenty to look forward to, and for all 2019 was an epic year. I think next year will be even better.
For sure, Nick.
Looking forward to it.
Yep, just like to say, best wishes to everyone for the Christmas break and New Year, and many winners in 2020.
Absolutely. Many thanks for your company throughout the year, and hope you can join us next year as well. From all the team here on the Track Talk Review for 2019, goodbye.